Hello and welcome. Today we are in the Tier 10 French light cruiser, the Colbert. We're playing a ranked battle and it is Arms Race. So for those who don't know, Arms Race is a game mode where you have these little buffs spawn. You can see on the screen there's a little plus icon and a wheel and all those kinds of things. These are little buffs and they are kind of like cap circles that appear once the timer runs out. If a ship sails into it, then your team gets a little buff. There are a few types of buffs. There are the heal buff, which is the plus. There's the consumable cooldown timer buff. Then there's a speed and rudder shift buff, and then there's a reload buff as well. And essentially these make your ship more powerful. Usually you get a combination of these buffs and you don't get the maximum amount in any of the buffs in one single game. It's technically possible though that it can happen. And these buffs are very significant, particularly the heal buff. Anyway, the game started and this is unfortunately a CV battle and we do have an Audacious. However, it's okay because the enemy has a Midway. I mean, Midway is still better than the Audacious, but it's not quite the same as if they had Manfred von Richthofen or something along those lines. It's kind of weird though here, because our destroyer actually ignored the heal buff right here. Which is why I'm gonna try and go take it myself with my speed boost. Since I'm spotted anyway by the enemy planes, I might as well just keep shelling the Des Moines. My build is slightly different than what I did before in random battles for the Colbert. I swapped out the reload upgrade to the range upgrade, because I feel like having about 14 to 15 kilometer range can be very useful at times. You know, situations like this current one, where I can simply shell that Des Moines. Sure, I'm not going to do much damage, but I'm likely to make the Des Moines annoyed and possibly make her actually change her position. Because I can just keep shelling her over here, right? I don't really lose much. And I think the main value that Colbert brings is annoying the enemy and helping them commit to mistakes, such as pushes that don't make sense or similar. And obviously she is a very scary ship once she gets close and she can let her DPM run wild. But because she fires so many shells, what you can do is you can just blind fire very easily into smoke screens, and that makes destroyers rather uncomfortable, because eventually you're going to find some shells. You know, this ship can just keep firing shells all the time, it doesn't really matter. Because she has such a short reload, and if they fly all over the place, some will find a destroyer at one point. Now, one thing I wish the Colbert were better at is anti-air. Colbert used to have amazing anti-air, or at least ships like the Colbert used to have amazing anti-air, I suppose is the right way to put it. Light cruisers used to have amazing AA, you know, I'm talking like Atlanta and Flint and similar, where CVs would absolutely try to avoid them at all costs. But unfortunately with the CV rework, that's not the case. Colbert isn't really that scary in terms of anti-air, which means that CVs don't really have problems striking around the Colbert, or even the Colbert herself. Also, that Haruguma in that smoke has eaten 9 shells blindly. Imagine you're in a smoke screen, and some kind of a light cruiser fires at you, with shell travel times of like 10 seconds, and then they land 10 shells on you, and deal like, I mean, it's only like 3,000 or 4,000 damage, but damage is still damage, right? Anyway, let's shell this French battleship, whose name I cannot pronounce, and if I try to, people will complain. So let's just get her out of the game as quickly as... Oh, I guess it's a good thing I stopped right here, because I would have actually run into that island. Do I think the Colbert is a good ship in ranked? No, I definitely think there are far better ships to pick. I mean, if you want to play a ship like the Colbert, just play the Smolensk, because she has a smoke screen, and her shells have much less travel time, which means that you can actually land the shells. Of course, do note that they do have lower DPM, but, you know, it doesn't matter that much. We're still talking huge amounts of DPM. Oh, wait, is that Shimakaze coming closer to me? Wait, what? Is she tired of living? She's at 8 kilometers from a Colbert. I think she's already dead then. Yeah, there's no way she can escape. Goodbye, Shimakaze. It was nice knowing you. No, that smoke screen isn't gonna do anything. It's already too late. You should have made this decision before you actually came so close to my ship. Goodbye, Shimakaze. Ooh. Somebody punished me for that. Oof. Well, regardless, I'm just gonna open some distance between me and the Bargani, and then we're gonna shell her as we sail away from her. She can overmatch my bow and stern, which obviously means that she could easily end up deleting my ship. However, I think chances of that happening are rather low. And, I mean, I do have heals and a fairly large amount of HP still left. Oh! Our Shimakaze is giving me a smokescreen. Oh, this is amazing. This is excellent, because now we can just keep firing at her. Let's check what the smoke fire penalty is. 5.6 kilometers. This means that as long as I stay further than 5.6 kilometers from that French battleship, I can just keep firing here, and she won't spot me. Ooh, this is excellent. Excellent news indeed. Take that. I mean, eventually it'll be fires and all of that will make the ship suffer, but right now, you know, it's a little bit of damage, right? Wait, Shimakaze? No, Shima, don't do that. She's gonna lose so much HP for this. Actually, it wasn't that much HP, was it? Never mind, that's actually pretty good. I mean, giving up 6k HP to delete one of the enemy battleships, that's actually really good. I mean, she literally has enough HP to delete the other battleship too and still have plenty left over. She'd have plenty left over for a third even. Yeah. So clearly that kind of a trade is worth it, and I think this is one of the reasons why destroyers are very powerful in arms race. Also why the Colbert is quite scary, because if you're a destroyer going into a match thinking, okay, I'm gonna YOLO that battleship down and torpedo her, and then you run into a Colbert, nothing you can do, because if you go close, you just die, as that Shimakaze found out. Well, anyway, it would be nice if we could take out the Harugumo. That would be grand. Oh, she's down to 9k HP. Well done, Audacious. That's surprisingly good. Or maybe it was somebody else, I'm unsure. But I do need to get closer, and I think I'll go for that heal buff there in the middle. Or at least try to, but maybe it'll be too scary. Now the cap is open. That's actually bad news, because we only have one ship in the cap, which is the Worcester. And the problem in this game mode is that once one team takes the cap zone, the points tick very quickly. And there's not that much you can do at that point to try to win. You need a ship that's very close to the cap zone, or to be able to sink them right after they take it. Anyway, we'll just keep shelling at some of the battleships. Maybe I should shoot the Des Moines. I'm not really sure. Des Moines is kind of harder to hit, and I can't penetrate the deck and side armors of either of these ships, because I don't have IFHE, which means that I'm only hitting the superstructure anyway. Oh, the CV is attacking me. The CV is attacking an AA light cruiser. Just saying, she lost 2 planes before the attack. 2. I think Colbert needs slightly more anti-air than she actually has. Okay, and when I say slightly more, I mean if the CV tries to attack a Colbert, she should lose at least the entire squadron after the attack. I mean, sure, maybe she can actually do the attack, fine. But all of the planes should be dead by the time they fly over the ship. They shouldn't be able to go for another strike on some other ship. Anyway, I guess I'm not gonna go for the buff. Unfortunately, the Minotaur is simply too close here. And that would end up with me showing too much sight to the Minnow. Right now I'm okay, right? Because there's an island between me and the Minnow. But if I actually went and had taken the buff, I think that would have potentially ended up me showing broadside to the Minotaur, where she could have citadeled me. And I don't think I would have been able to... Well, maybe I would have gotten out alive, but... Oof! I just got oofed by that Thunderer. Wow. Yeah, okay, I definitely wouldn't have gotten out alive if I had gone into that buff zone. So that's one thing I think people misplay a lot in Arms Race. They go for the buffs way too easily. They don't think about what the consequences of going into that buff zone are. Because if I had gone in there, enemies would have been able to much more easily shoot me. And I would have sunk, and one buff isn't worth your entire ship. It's better to live and fight another day, but this is looking pretty grim at this point. I mean, they have a Thunderer. We have a Thunderer too, but they also have a Minotaur and a Des Moines, and their carrier is a Midway, whereas ours is an Audacious. And I don't know why our Thunderer is pushing in. This is an extremely poor idea, Thunderer. I guess I'll focus the Des Moines down, because she seems to be a bigger threat to me. You see, the main reason the Des Moines is a big threat is because she has the better auto-bounce angles on the AP shells, which means that if the... I have to angle more against the Des Moines than I have to angle against the Thunderer to be able to ricochet on my main belt. Okay, I guess we got the buff by our Thunderer, but I don't think that was worth it considering she's gonna die for that. And she isn't even taking their Thunderer with him. That's really bad. If she had taken their Thunderer, this would be, you know, a game still. Sure, we would be behind, but it would have been a game. But unfortunately, she didn't manage to do that, and so now it's a fight against very poor odds. I mean, they have a Des Moines, a Thunderer, a Minotaur, and a Midway, and they're all gonna attack me. And I'm down to 7k HP. Luckily, hopefully this island will prevent some shells. I say luckily because I didn't really plan on there being an island that I could hide behind. It just happened to be there. Okay, you know what? I think if I can get behind the island and the CV won't be able to spot me, although... Wait, oh no, the CV's coming in. I have 3k HP. Anti-air? Do something? Anything? I need to turn away. I have to do this turn, even though it's so risky against the Des Moines AP, but I have to do this turn, otherwise I'm gonna die to the planes. Okay, we survived at 900 HP. And now... Oh, we're unspotted now. Excellent, now we can just keep shelling the Des Moines. Come on, 3k HP, 2k, 1k. And she's gone, excellent. Now we have a massive 1900 HP, well 2000 now. Because we do have 3 heals going, but we don't have any of the other buffs. Reload, speed, nothing. Only the heals, but the heals are the best buff to have. Still, we're very, very, very low HP. We do have a heal coming up in 15 seconds, so well, let's hopefully wait for that. But still, this is looking grim. I mean, they're even taking the cap zone, and once they take the cap, it's pretty much guaranteed they're gonna win, regardless what the ships end up being. We just simply don't have the ships to be able to sink all of them. Especially the Minotaur is gonna be a big problem for me. Because she has a super heal, right? And she's full HP. And I can't show broadside to her while firing all of my guns because she is fast firing, which means that she will constantly shell me. And that means she's gonna find my citadels if I show side. Whereas against the Thunderer, you know, I can show broadside, fire, wait until she fires, angle, then turn back again, but you can't do that against the Minotaur. But on the other hand, if it were just the Minotaur, maybe this would be doable, you know, if the Thunderer had been taken out, but this is looking grim. Oh god, Midway torpedo bombers. These are gonna be annoying to dodge. I guess I'll have to turn into them. Because I can't imagine doing anything else to try to avoid these torps. I mean, it's fairly easy to dodge with a Colbert, so that's not an issue. The issue is rather, what am I gonna be hit with other than the CV? Oh, come on! Look at this! The Midway did a strike on the Colbert, then turned around in the Colbert's anti-air, and then did a second strike. A full second strike. What the hell? Where is my anti-air? It's an anti-air light cruiser. How is it not good at anti-air? Well, anyway, we survived regardless, because the Colbert is fast and maneuverable, and it's really difficult to drop her, especially with midway torpedo bombers. Oh wait, is that the CV? It's really unfortunate that the ship is extremely bad at killing CVs, because CV fires only last 5 seconds. Sure, they deal 1% damage per second, but that's only 5% of their HP, and the armored deck means that they don't take much damage. Which means that I don't think I can actually sink that midway in any kind of reasonable amounts of time. So I guess I'll just keep shelling the Thundera for now, because I can mostly survive the midway strikes. You know, I can't really... Oh, I guess one reason why it might be difficult to shoot down the planes is because they have a constant heal going on, right? Which means that my long-range anti-air basically does nothing to the planes, because, you know, they probably heal like 100 HP per second, although flak bubbles apparently do hurt. Jesus, that was a 10k flak bubble. Let's accelerate to dodge these. I mean, with speed boost you do have extreme acceleration, and since I do have the rudder shift upgrade instead of concealment, I do turn quickly, and I have the propulsion mod. So the maneuverability of the ship is amazing. Okay, let's try to use this island and drop onto that, and shell that Thundera. But damn, this isn't looking good. And Minotaur's over there with the Thundera and the midway now. Yeah, this is looking really grim now. CV planes are coming in, but that's okay. Oh, by the way, we're at 17k HP. We were down to 900 at one point. How? I guess this is the magic of arms race. This is why I love arms race so much. It's so awesome. I don't know, I just love this game mode. It's so nice. So, Minotaur's at 40k, I'm at 10k. Yeah, no, this isn't gonna work. Oh, and she's healing now, Jesus. And with the CB attacking me. I mean, it could be worse if that were a Richthof and I'd be already dead, I think. 2k HP, yeah, and I'm also out of heals. Not looking good. I mean, Minnow is down to 20, well, yeah, I'm down to 0 though. Well, regardless, I mean, we tried, right? We tried. We really did try this game, and I think our attempt was rather successful. We're at over 190k damage, and we sank 3 ships. I think I pulled my weight. It was some other aspects that simply weren't up to snuff on our team. So, let's just skip to the end. Because nothing happens here, they just wait the timer out. Surprised that they didn't win by points, but, you know, it doesn't really matter. A win is a win. But hey, we had 622 shells, we shot down 41 planes, we sank 3 ships, we set 18 fires, we even captured the buff, we defended the base. Wait, 2,189 base XP on a loss. I would be number 3 on the enemy team on a loss. I have double the XP of our number 2 guy, and our number 2 guy got a respectable amount of XP. What? 2,189 base XP on a loss. Jesus, what the hell? I guess sometimes good play does get rewarded by Wargaming, huh? I want to know the detailed report here. Oh, okay, so I took 106,000 damage in a light cruiser that has a base HP of like 36,000. 106k damage to actually sink me. Think about that one. I mean, I have survivability expert on this ship, and I don't even reach 40k HP, and it took 106k damage. I also have 2.1 million potential damage in a light cruiser. That's... wow. Also, that Des Moines took a lot of damage from me. 70k? Damn. But yeah, look, the Alpha damage, 123k damage. Alpha. With the HE. And only like 56k fire damage from 18 fires. Maybe fires simply don't make that much sense on a Colbert. Maybe I should drop Demolition Expert or something. Or maybe we need more fire chance even. Who knows? But regardless, this was an amazing game. Like, I think this game was actually better than it felt like when playing, looking at the results here. Because, I mean, if you look at the 41 planes, right? only 5 of them were scout planes, or fighter planes. Everything else was like attack planes, which is kind of unusual. Usually, you know, like a third to a half of all the planes you shoot down are fighter planes of the enemy CV. You know, that they use to spot and stuff, which is important, of course, but they're usually much easier to shoot down than other types of planes. Anyway, let's take a look at our commander skills. Oh, I got actually complimented. Anyway, priority target, adrenaline rush, then superintendent, because you have a heal, obviously. Then concealment expert. Then after that, I take... Go away. Go away now. Okay. After concealment expert, I take basic firing training and demolition expert, and the last 3 points I go for survivability expert. Now, I've been thinking, I would actually like to have advanced firing training here, but I would have to drop 2 skills for that. I would have to drop obviously survivability expert, of course, but the second one, I guess, it'll have to be demolition expert, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. Because I have 10% fire chance like this, right? But if you think about it, 8 to 10% fire chance is 25% more fires, and that could make a big difference. You know, especially if you consider that players play with damage control. Anyway, upgrades wise, I use the range upgrade, because, well, having slightly more than 13.8 kilometer range is good. Usually I would use the reload upgrade, but just having the extra range I think is very, very useful to have, for ranked at least, and so I have settled for the range one, especially because this means I don't have to respec my captain. Then I use steering gears and propulsion mod, aiming systems, because the other two don't make any sense. Then in the second slot, the special speed boost upgrade, which is kind of unusual. Usually you use the hydro upgrade, but I guess on the French cruiser you kind of do need the survivability that speed boost provides. And then Maynard's modification 1. Maybe I will respec my captain after all and take AFT, so I can take the reload upgrade. That would increase my damage output normally, you know, because we noticed the fire damage wasn't that high, right? So maybe that would actually be worth it. I just don't really like the idea of having to respec my captain again. I have spent millions and millions of Elite Captain XP for that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.